All right, so what you're seeing here is the new task list. It works pretty much the same as the old task list with a few improvements. So you'll notice that in the table, there are two sides to it. On one side, you have a bunch of columns, and on the left-hand side, you have columns that are fixed in position. So if you're dealing with lots of columns, you're able to scroll along the right-hand side. So to see that, all you need to do is just click on Table. And if you go to Properties, this is where you can select which columns will appear in the table. So let's say, for example, I add in the item, and let's get time used, and we'll go to start date. And here we can see you have scrolling on the right-hand side. So the columns on the left are fixed, and on the right-hand side, they're scrollable. If you want to pin any columns to the left, all you need to do is just drag them over to the left, and they'll then be pinned on the left-hand side. You can also do that through the table settings under Properties. So if you want to pin a specific column, all you need to do is just click on that little pin icon, and they'll just get pinned to the left. And of course, you can unpin them as well. In fact, you can actually drag columns from here into the pinned area, and they'll also get pinned that way. So it's quite clever in how it manages that. Editing the fields is exactly the same as before. You just click to edit. There are some slight differences in the way the editing works. Just an example, if you click into a field and you change, in this case, the status, you'll notice the field is still in focus. It's not really a change to how you edit, but just know that you are still in focus. So if you press enter, for example, it will reopen that cell and allow you to edit again. But apart from that, editing is exactly the same. Some other features of the task list is the ability to now group the information. So again, in the table settings, if I go to the group option, I can change it to group by status. Right? So from grouping by status, you can now see that the table is broken up into two sections. You can drag between these sections as well. And of course, if you drag an open task into a closed task, it will mark it as closed. And the same applies to any other form of grouping as well. So we can group by stage, which will give us essentially what you might be used to seeing if you're using workflows. You'll have tasks grouped into stages. And then you can also have no grouping at all, which just gives you the project as a whole. Some of the other nice features of this new view is the ability to view a timeline. So if you change the view from table to timeline, you'll notice the grouping has also changed when I did that. That may not happen on a fresh account. The only reason that's happened is because the properties for a table and a timeline are completely independent. So you could have a specific view of a table and a completely different view for a table, for a timeline. So on my timeline view, I'm just going to change it to no grouping, just to make it a bit easier to look at. I'll go into my table properties and turn off the owner and the stage. So here I've just got the status and the timeline. And what you're seeing here is obviously a Gantt chart. You can see here we have dependencies, so that's also a new feature. Creating dependencies is really easy. You just click and drag to position and it will just set up a link. And if you want to remove a link, you just click on it and click delete link. We also have these handy links that allow you to navigate to certain points in time. If there's something that is out of view and you want to be able to see that, you just click on the link, it will take you straight there. There is also navigation along the top. If you want to be able to navigate using your buttons up here, you can do that. We also have, and this is probably one of the biggest additions, which I think is going to be used quite a lot, I hope, is the ability to share the timeline. So if you go to the button along the top here where it says private, you can change the access from private to public access. You click start sharing, and what that will do is that will create a public link. You can copy the link by clicking here. You can also get some embed code if you want to be able to embed the Gantt chart onto, for example, another website. You could do that. You can also click the preview button, and that will take you to the preview page of that public link. So you'll notice here we have only 4 tasks that are visible. And the reason for that, if we go back over here, I'll just go to my properties. I'm going to show you the access column. So here we can choose which tasks are actually visible in the public view. So you can turn certain rows of your task list on and off. So So if I do that here and I navigate back to my shared tab and I reload that page, you'll see we now have all those rows appearing. Now, in the future, we will add the ability to turn certain columns on and off for private and public access. That will probably be happening very soon. It's actually already been built. It's just something we haven't fully tested yet. But the columns themselves at the moment are limited to just the task and the timeline. But once the feature is released, you'll be able to choose exactly which columns the client can see on this public page. So that is really it. That's all there is to this update. There is quite a lot there. There's a bunch of new features. It's still early stages, so if there is feedback and you guys want to let us know what you'd like to see change or any new additions, just reach out, let us know, and we'll do our best. Okay, that's it. Thanks, guys.